Good evening, dear teacher and classmates. My name is Anthony Tamayo. I'm from Puyo City, and in this occasion, we will be answering some questions on the topic using classroom-based language assessment. Let's start with the first questions that says, what are formative decisions? Formative decisions is a process that feeds back learning, making it possible for the student to regulate it. In this way, together with the educator, they can adjust the progression of learning and adapt the learning activities according to their needs and possibilities. It should be a useful assessment to learn, but in addition to being useful, it must also have a regulatory purpose. That is, it must be capable of regulating the learning process itself. The second question says, why do we make formative decisions? Because it allows the student to provide guidelines to improve their learning. This type of evaluation is not focused on penalizing the errors of the students, but rather on responding to their difficulties and helping them to constantly improve. In other words, formative assessment is based on the analysis of evidence collected by teachers that allows them to make comments and implement actions to improve students' understanding. In addition, formative assessment implies a challenge for the teacher since it demands solid knowledge in the discipline, constant attention to the ideas expressed by the students, recognition of the most common learning difficulties and familiarity with a repertoire of teaching strategies that respond to the diverse student needs. The third question, why do formative decisions allow to improve teaching and learning? Because it gives each student the opportunity to express the mastery of motor skills, cognitive strategies, and attitudes, detecting deficiencies, achievements that students present in their learning. Not only should the student's learning process be evaluated, but it should also be evaluated teaching process. That is why it allows to identify the learning achievements occurred by the students when it is intended to achieve excellence in educational performance. It is essential to continually evaluate our own teaching procedures so that it allows to adapt them to needs and characteristics of the students so that they meet the expectations of students, thus generation significant learning in the educational community. Question number 4. What formative decisions can we make to improve teaching? There are 5 innovative strategies of formative decisions to improve teaching. Number 1. Analyze student work. Much can be learned from students' homework, tests, and exams. This is especially so if students are required to explain their thinking. Number 2. Round robin charts and formative assessment. This strategy consists of passing graphs between groups to assess comprehension. Number 3. Strategic questioning question strategies can be used with individuals, small groups, or the whole class. Number 4. Share as a couple strategy. This is one of many formative assessment strategies that is simple for teachers to use. And number 5, classroom surveys for formative assessments. Surveys allow students to give quick and accurate answers. And finally, what formative decisions can we make to improve learning? Number 1, clarify and share learning intention. This strategy is the most commonly used, and in many schools you can see how each lesson begins with a learning objectives. Strategy number two, obtain evidence. It refers to all the ways we have of knowing where students are in their learning. It invites us to effectively discussing activities and tasks that allow us to obtain evidence of our students' performance. Strategy number three, provide feedback that moves learning forward. The feedback he asserts does not have to focus on the past, on the work that the students has already done, but on the future. Strategy number four, activate students among themselves as a mutual resource. Activate students as owners of their own learning. This last strategy puts the student at the center of the process. In addition, it is to remember that the most important decisions that are made in class are not made by the teachers, they are made by the students. No matter how good the feedback is, if the students doesn't want to pay attention to it, it will be totally useless. That is why he describes education as an effectivity learning engineering progress.